Our Foreign Affairs correspondent, Porrick O'Brien, is in Jerusalem now. Porrick, over to you.
Matt, the two men that carried out this awful attack this morning, believed to be from areas around Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. We're hearing now that those areas are in lockdown amidst an intense security operation. Also, just before we came on air, we're seeing posts on social media where Israeli settlers are calling for revenge demonstrations on the streets of towns and cities in the West Bank. And then added into the mix, Benjamin Netanyahu just ratcheting up the rhetoric as is his wont in the last couple of hours on a video statement saying that what's happening in Gaza, what the IDF are doing in Gaza, is just the beginning. So a very dark day in Gaza, in the West Bank, starting in East Jerusalem at a bus stop not far from here. And I should warn viewers that there are distressing images in our report. Around 10 a.m. this morning, and like most days at this time, the traffic at the Ramat junction close to standstill. The street outside the bus depot, just inside Israel-occupied East Jerusalem, is full of people. Then the sound of gunfire drowns out the car horns. People run for their lives. Bullets hit the windows of the bus next to the taxi driver right of screen. His focus, getting an elderly passenger to safety. Within seconds, armed civilians start shooting back as more arrive on the scene. 5 men and a woman were killed. 2 others were seriously wounded when 2 attackers opened fire near the bus stop. We arrived on the scene of one of the worst attacks in Israel since October the 7th, not long after it happened. Gitti Beer was one of the first paramedics to attend.
Many wounded people running around screaming. There were women with babies, carriages. So we grabbed one man. He was shot in his back. He looked like he needed to get to the hospital right away. He was sweating, he was white, and there was a gunshot wound. Just a random person standing, waiting for a bus.
The dead were named as Rabbi Mordecai Steinzeg, Yaakov Pinto, Sarah Mendelssohn, Levi Yatzak Pash, Israel Matzner, and Rabbi Yusuf David. The Israeli police said this morning that, quote, 2 terrorists arrived in a vehicle. The weapons they used were recovered at the scene. They also said that an off-duty soldier and civilians returned fire and, quote, neutralised the attackers. So you can see 1, 2, 3 bullet holes on the windscreen of the bus. According to security services, the attackers were from Ramallah in the West Bank. They arrived on the scene with ammunition, weapons and knives. They were killed on the scene, we understand, by soldiers and civilians. In a society as heavily armed as this, it was in effect a suicide mission. About an hour after the attack, Benjamin Netanyahu arrived at the scene, flanked by his far-right security minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir. He offered condolences to the families of the victims and framed what happened in terms of a country at war on multiple fronts, including Gaza, the occupied West Bank, East Jerusalem.
I want to say this as clearly as possible. These murders, these attacks, in all fronts do not discourage us. They only strengthen our determination to complete the missions we have taken upon ourselves, also in Gaza, also in Judea and Samaria, and everywhere.
His mission in Gaza continued today. The Al Roya building levelled after displaced people living inside were ordered to evacuate. One of 50 buildings destroyed by the Israeli Air Force in the last 2 days. Part of the military's plan to destroy high-rise buildings in Gaza City that they describe as Hamas vantage points ahead of a ground incursion. You have to go inside much smaller buildings, though, to see what's really being destroyed here. Despite being in the evacuation zone, Ahmed al-Dafi and his 3 brothers stayed here. 2 of their bodies have been recovered from the rubble. They can't reach the last one.
صلاة الفجر 3 اخواتي قلت 3 شباب.
I don't know. Suddenly fire fell on us while we were sleeping, and now I'm looking for my brothers, Mohammed, Harith, Hadhaifa.
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Their mother Sosan surveys what Israel's Minister of Defense described today as a mighty hurricane. One made up of individual wind streams, the final breath of the more than 60 Gazans who, according to health officials, were killed today.